Welcome. This is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Let me introduce a little of how I understand Monday, Thursday, and the Tenebrae. Holy Week is really an intensification on the focus of Jesus' last week of life. On Monday, Thursday, we focus on the Last Supper, the evening before Jesus is killed. Now, nobody really uses the word Monday anymore, so understanding it is a little murkier than some of the other days in Holy Week. We understand what Ash Wednesday is, and Palm Sunday, and Good Friday. But what is Maundy, Thursday? The word Maundy comes from a Latin root which means mandate. We are talking about mandate Thursday. We are talking about the night before Jesus died, when he gave the disciples a mandate, when he told them exactly what he expected them to do. If this were a book or a movie, and Jesus was the lead character, we might expect him to be giving instructions like, avenge my death, or don't let them get away with this. But this isn't just any other story. This is a story that turns everything on its head. Instead, the mandate Jesus gives is this: I give you new commandments, that you shall love God with all your heart, and you will love your neighbor as yourself. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this, everyone knows you are my disciples. That is the mandate, or Maundy, that the Last Supper celebrates with a transforming communion of bread and wine. They are the loving commandments we celebrate tonight with our service of communion. Right after our service of communion, we will have a service of Tenebrae. Tenebrae is the Latin word for shadows, and it's the name given to a service at the end of Holy Week. With Jesus' death, all is sad and mournful, as though it were a funeral. Readings during the Tenebrae portion of our service focus on the end of Jesus' life. And after each reading, a candle is extinguished. Welcome to our time of worship together. Our communion is a service of commemoration, consecration, and fellowship. It's open to everyone, all who desire to take part. Oh, give thanks unto God, for God is love. Love's mercy is everlasting. Dearly beloved, we have received it that Jesus, on the night before he died, as he supped with his disciples in an upper chamber, took bread and broke it, likened it unto his crucified body, and poured out wine as a parable of shedding his own blood. As we repeat this act in remembrance of him, may the Spirit which kept him steadfast even unto death be quickened in us. We remember also that the bread and wine have been a sign to Christians in all ages of their fellowship with Jesus and with one another. Let the wine here outpoured be to us a token of the self-forgetting good which must all fill the needs of others and to help us share the fullness of divine blessing. And so let us offer ourselves not to be ministered unto, but to minister. Would you please turn to your order of service and read responsively with me? Let us hear the words of Jesus which speak of the way of blessedness. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and the great commandment. The second is like unto it, namely this: Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Let the bread here set apart from the bounty of the earth be a token of all the good we receive and cannot ourselves effect. And let us with quiet hearts wait for the highest good of all, the presence of the Word and Spirit of God. The Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, "This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me." Take this and eat in remembrance of Christ. After the same manner, also he took the cup and poured and said, "This is my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. Let the wine here outpoured be a token of the self-forgetting good which must all help one another in the fullness of divine blessing. Let us offer ourselves not to be ministered unto, but to minister." And after the same manner also he took the cup, and when he supped, he said, saying, "This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This ye do as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me." Take this and drink in remembrance of Christ. Let us join in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. With Jesus' death, all is sad and mournful. It is as if it were a funeral. Our readings focus on the end of Jesus' life, And after each reading, a candle is extinguished. At the end of the service, as we enter into deeper darkness, we will be invited to leave in silence, waiting for the glory of Easter. Betrayal. Luke 22. But see, the one who betrays me is with me, and his hand is on the table. Or the Son of Man is going as it has been determined, but woe to that one by whom he is betrayed. Then they began to ask one another which one of them it could be who would do this. A dispute also arose among them as to which one of them should be regarded as the greatest. But he said to them, the kings of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors. But not so with you. Rather, the greatest among you must become like the youngest, and the leader like one who serves. For who is greater, the one who is at the table or the one who serves? It is not the one at the table. But I am among you as one who serves. The desertion from Matthew 26. They sung together a hymn and then went out to the Mount of Olives. There Jesus said to them, you will all become deserters of me this night, for it is written, I shall strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I am raised up, I will go ahead of you to Galilee. Peter said to him, though all become deserters because of you, I will never desert you. Jesus said to him, truly I tell you, this very night before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to Jesus, even though I must die with you, I will not deny you. And so said all the disciples. The unshared vigil from Luke 22. He went, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives, and the disciples followed him. When he reached the place, he said to them, pray that you may not come into the time of my trial. Then he withdrew from them about a stone's throw and prayed, Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me, yet not my will, but thy will be done. When he got up from prayer, he came to the disciples and found them asleep, perhaps because of their grief. And he said to them, why are you sleeping? Get up and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. While he was still speaking goes the accusation from Matthew 26. Judas, one of the 12, arrived, and with him was a large crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now, the betrayer had given them a sign saying, "The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him." At once he came up to Jesus and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus said to him, "Friend, do what you are here to do." Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and arrested him. The high priest said to him, "I put you under oath before the living God. Tell us, are you the Messiah, the Son of God?" Jesus said to him, You have said so. But I tell you, from now on, you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, "He has blasphemed. Why do we still need witnesses? You have now heard his blasphemy. What is your verdict?" They answered, "He deserves death." Now Peter was sitting outside the courtyard. A servant girl came to him and said, "You were also with Jesus the Galilean." But Peter denied it before all of them, saying, "I don't know what you're talking about." At that moment, the cock crowed. Then Peter remembered Jesus had said, "Before the cock crows, you will have denied me." And he wept bitterly. The crucifixion from Matthew 27. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. And after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed in his right hand and knelt before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. After mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry his cross. And when they came to a place of Golgotha, which means place of the skull, they offered him wine to drink mixed with gall, but when he tasted it, he would not drink. And when they crucified him, they divided his clothes among them by casting lots. Then they sat down and kept watch. Over his head they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, King of the Jews."
Comes of the
Jesus' death from Mark chapter 15. When it was noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. At 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, "Listen, he is calling Elijah." And someone ran, filled a sponge with sour wine, and put it on a stick and gave it to him to drink, saying, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down." Then Jesus gave a loud cry and breathed his last. And the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. And then there was a loud sound. The tomb. There were also women looking on from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, the younger of Joseph and Salome. These used to follow him and provided for him when he was in Galilee. And there were many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem. When the evening had come, and since it was the day of preparation, that is, the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, a respected member of the council, who was also himself waiting expectantly for the kingdom of God, went boldly to Pilate. He asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate wondered if he were already dead, and summoning the centurion, he asked him whether he had been dead for some time. When he learned from the centurion that he was dead, he granted the body to Joseph. Then Joseph brought a linen cloth, taking down the body, wrapped it in the linen cloth, and laid it in a tomb that had been hewn out of the rock. He then rolled a stone against the door of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, mother of Joseph, saw where the body was laid. This final candle symbolizes the burial of Jesus in the tomb. I shall take it out now. On Easter, it will return, celebrating the resurrection of the light of the world. Go now gently